Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Saima Amin from Jamia Hamdard. Today we are going to talk on module Neosomes from paper Novel Drug Delivery System 2. Since my presentation is on neosomes, my objective for the presentation will be the emphasis on the neosomes. I will be discussing the structure, components, and the types of neosomes. Since these are the vesicle structures, they are affected by a process. So we need to understand different factors which are contributing to neosome formation. I will be discussing the 5 factors which are responsible for the neosome formation. The first one will be the molecular orientation of surfactant molecule. The hydration temperature will be the second factor responsible for this structure. The third factor is the surfactant and lipid concentration. The fourth one is the nature of the drug. And the last one, the additive agent and the charge stabilizer in the neosome. Coming to the first structure of the neosomes, as we all know, these are the components which are formed by non-ionic surfactants. You can see in the slide that a spherical structure is shown. This spherical structure is of neosome where the surfactant moiety is oriented in such a manner that we have this spherical formation. The surfactant moiety consists of the polar head and the apolar carbon chain. The polar head occupies the interior and is contributing to aqueous core, while the hydrocarbon chain is presented as a lengthy carbon chain towards the periphery. Since we know that the polar groups are responsible for the hydrophilicity, so we can load the drug, hydrophilic drug, in the interior of the neosomes. The hydrophobic moiety can be entrapped towards the carbon chain length. In the structure, the different additives are also shown, like cholesterol, which is present in the neosome structure. The cholesterol specifically occupies the space available in the hydrocarbon chain. The polar heads of the surfactants are capable of holding the polar moieties, while the apolar portion is for the lipophilic. Now coming to the stability and other aspects of this spherical structure, if you see the stability profile of vesicles, these are termed as thermodynamically stable structure. What do we mean by thermodynamically stable structure is, these vesicles are not affected by the dilution, they are not affected at all by the changes in the storage temperature. These vesicles are not affected by the rigors which are happening during transportations also. So, we are making these spherical structures by a process so that energy input is given and we have the output available as a stable neosome vesicle. I said these are the structures consisting of hydrophobic part and the hydrophilic part. There are chances that the moiety, that is the therapeutic moiety, can be absorbed at the periphery also. For example, pyrazinamide, which is absorbed at the periphery, while the drugs like rifampicin and isoniazid, they are encapsulated in the interior aqueous core. If we go back to the history of neosome formulations, these have been introduced by a cosmetic industry, L'Oreal, in 1975. They launched the first cosmetic product with a neosome, and today also we are seeing the cosmetic products developed as neosome in the market also. The question comes, why specifically these structures are occupying this spherical structure? The answer is because of the interfacial tension that exists between the aqueous region and the non-aqueous part. And because of this interfacial tension only, the orientation is such that the spherical structure is obtained to us. The types of neosomes. We know these neosomes are the spherical vesicles prepared by various reported methods. In this slide, I am explaining as per Bijou et al. 2006 the structure of neosomes. They have classified neosomes into three categories. The first one is the small unilamellar vesicles, formerly called as SUVs, and they are the structures available in the size range of 0.025 to 0.05 micron meter. These are the smallest vesicles, assuring greater bioavailability for the moieties. Coming to the second categorization is the multilamellar vesicles, also called as MLVs. As the name is indicating, they are the vesicles in the size range of micron, ranging from higher than 0.05 micron meter. The multilamellar vesicles are having more than one lamellar, that is the layer. The third one, the large unilamellar vesicles, called as LUVs, are in the size range more than 0.10 micron meter. In all the three categories, we are seeing that the number of layers are different in each case. The large unilamellar vesicles are having the larger length of the alkyl chain, indicating higher entrapment, but the dimension of the vesicle is quite big. The second categorization of neosome, as per Jen et al., includes three types of neosomes. The first one, the small neosomes, with a dimension of vesicle ranging from 100 nm to 200 nm. The second type of neosomes include the large neosomes, which are bigger in dimension and specifically ranges from 800 nm to 900 nm. The last one, the big neosomes, again are in micron dimension, ranging from 2 micron meter to 4 micron meter. The big neosomes are particularly helpful for topical drug delivery, whereas small neosomes have been experimented for drug targeting, transdermal drug delivery, and other site-specific drug delivery. Here, I am going to explain the composition of the neosome formulation. Neosomes consist of non-ionic surfactants as a major component. These non-ionic surfactants are effective for encapsulating the drug, which can be lipophilic or hydrophilic. We have variety of options available for non-ionic surfactants. For example, the ester type of non-ionic surfactants include tweens and spens. These are widely used in most of the neosomes. The second type of non-ionic surfactants include fatty alcohols such as cetyl alcohol, and the last one belongs to the category of ether types non-ionic surfactants. For example, bridge, 20, 80, or 85. Out of all the three categories available for formation of neosomes, mostly the work has been done on non-ionic surfactants of ester types. The reason to select ester type of non-ionic surfactants include: first, the low toxicity. They have been observed to be safe for any type of route of administration. Secondly, these ester types of surfactants are causing less damage to skin membranes. Also, with sucrose esters present in the ester type of non-ionic surfactants, biodegradability is seen. Their integrity is seen in different biological fluids also. For example, interstitial fluid, which is observed when neosomes are given by subcutaneous administration. They are also stable in synovial fluid when intra-articular injection is given, and when they are administered orally, the vesicles are found to be stable in stomach and intestinal fluid. The most common theory for non-ionic surfactants is they form a closed bilayer in aqueous medium based on their amphiphilic nature, that is, having a polar head and a non-polar chain. Now shows the two types of the surfactants used in neosomes. In the first one, the surfactant is polysorbate 80, which is also called as polyethylene glycol sorbitane monooleate. It is the hydrophilic surfactant with HLB value 15. The second structure shows the span 80, another type of non-ionic surfactant of ester type. It is also called as sorbitane monooleate with HLB value 4.3. It is lipophilic in nature. Therefore, the choice of the surfactant is dependent on the nature of the therapeutic moiety. The two structures are almost similar in their hydrocarbon chain length. If you see the diagram, the polysorbate 80 shows a polyethylene glycol moiety imparting higher hydrophilicity to the surfactant, whereas in the second structure, the polyethylene glycol moiety is absent. That is why the second surfactant is lipophilic in nature. Apart from non-ionic surfactants as a component of neosomes, additive agents are also incorporated in formulation of neosomes. These additive agents are incorporated to provide specific property to the vesicle. For example, phospholipids, polyethylene glycol 6000, cholesterol, etc. are incorporated in neosomes. The first structure is of cholesterol, which is added in the neosomes to impart rigidity to the vesicles, also to incorporate the drug properly into the polar region. The second structure is of polyethylene glycol 6000. It is incorporated as a stabilizer for vesicles. The third structure is of phospholipid, which is an amphiphilic moiety having hydrophilic head and the hydrophobic tail of fatty acids. These additive agents are added in a specific concentration to impart specific features. The third component incorporated in neosome is the stabilizer. For example, diacetyl phosphate, solutol HS15 are the widely used stabilizers for neosomes. They are added in neosomes to prevent aggregation due to development of steric hindrance. These stabilizers thus inhibit the formation of lumps, or they can provide specific charge to the neosomes, which is required at times for tissue targeting. The slide shows the structure of diacetyl phosphate and solutol HS15. Solutol HS15 is a widely reported surfactant for neosomes and other lipid carriers. Diacetyl phosphate imparts negative charge to the neosome. The fourth component of neosomes include the hydration medium. Since neosomes are formed as a dry lipid layer, which is when hydrated swells to form the vesicular structure. Therefore, the volume of hydration medium affects the stability and the formation of the vesicular structure. The hydration medium is usually the buffer solution of pH in which the drug exhibits the maximum solubility. The hydration medium provides proper swelling of the formed structure. For example, in case of methotrexate neosomes, the hydration medium selected is buffer of pH 8 because the drug has high solubility in this buffer. However, in ketoconazole neosomes, the hydration medium selected is buffer of pH 5.5 because of the solubility of drug. Now, coming to the factors which are responsible for formation of neosomes. The first one, molecular orientation of surfactants. We know these surfactant moieties are the basic component for a vesicle like neosome. These surfactants are affecting the formation of neosomes, and the tools available to us to determine the structure of neosomes are hydrophile lipophile balance, that is HLB of a surfactant, the critical packing parameter CPP for a surfactant, and the effective area per lipid chain. All these three tools guide us regarding the structure of a vesicle neosome. The second factor, hydration temperature. It influences the formation of a stable vesicle structure. Usually, the hydration temperature is correlated with the phase transition temperature of a surfactant molecule. So, here we will be understanding what should be the ideal temperature in order to cause the hydration of the lipid layer formed by any of the processes used for making of neosomes. The surfactant and lipid concentration, the third prime factor responsible for a change in a neosome molecule, is affecting the stability, the encapsulation efficiency, and the structure of the neosome. Usually, the surfactants which are having greater dimension for the polar head are capable of holding the drug, hydrophilic drug, more easily, and incorporation of lipid concentration in the vesicle affect the stability and to some extent encapsulation of the drug also. The nature of a drug is also a responsible factor for neosome formulation. In nature of drug, we need to understand where exactly the drug will be occupying the space in the vesicle, or what is the nature of the drug, like its hydrophilic or its lipophilic. The last factor contributing to a stable neosome formation is the additive agent. We have variety of additive agents available. For example, sometimes we need to incorporate a charge on the neosome, or maybe we are adding some lipid into the structure of vesicle so that lipophilic moieties are also encapsulated in this structure. Coming to the factors which affect the stability, performance, and bioavailability of a neosome formation, the first one discussed here is the molecular orientation of surfactants. As we know, these surfactants molecules are the molecules having a polar head and a non-polar chain. So, these molecules are amphiphilic because of the structure. The structure of surfactant plays a vital role in neosome formation. To know the precise structure of neosome, the tools available to us are the hydrophile, lipophile balance of surfactant and the critical packing parameter. Coming to the HLB of surfactant, it is observed that surfactant with HLB greater than 11 are hydrophilic, while surfactants with HLB less than 9 are lipophilic. However, the surfactants with HLB in the range 3 to 8 are the good candidate for water in oil emulsions, while HLB in the range 8 to 18 is good for formation of oil in water emulsifiers. Usually, HLB in the range 4 to 8 is ideal for formation of a neosome structure. HLB more than 14 is not suitable for neosome formation, and this is the reason why we incorporate cholesterol in the neosome to balance the higher proportion of hydrophilicity caused by the surfactant of higher HLB value. In the diagram, it is clearly indicated that a surfactant molecule consists of a polar spherical head with the area value denoted as small a and the hydrocarbon chain length denoted as L. Since the chain length is not the straight chain, it can be the chain in zigzag manner. Therefore, we need to assess the volume occupied by this structure. Thus, coming to the second tool, that is CPP, we have the formula available to calculate the CPP parameter. It is denoted as CPP equals to volume divided by the multiple of length of the hydrocarbon chain and the area of the hydrophilic head. The second tool to know the formation of a proper neosome is CPP, the critical packing parameter, calculated with the help of the formula given in the previous slide. The CPP helps to indicate the formation of spherical micelle. The spherical micelles are formed when CPP is less than 1/3, while biliar vesicles are formed when it is in between 1/2 to 1 value. The third tool, which is the effective area per lipid chain, is also designated as AC. It is the cross section of surfactant tail and indicates the formation of neosomes. Value above 0.43 nanometer square indicates the formation of micelle structure. For multilamellar structures, the value is less than 0.43 nanometer square. In neosomes, the structure is initially in a gel state which transforms into a liquid state. The transition temperature observed for the transition is called as phase transition temperature for that specific surfactant. The TC value affects the entrapment efficiency for a neosome vesicle. For example, with span 60, with higher transition temperature value of 50 degrees centigrade, it is observed that drugs are entrapped completely, indicating higher entrapment efficiency. Another set of study was provided by Yom et al. Related to the structure of neosome affecting the stability. They have reported that neosomes with tween have a bulky head group and are much less rigid than the neosomes with span. This effect of head group on fluidity is also manifested with bridge surfactants, where fluidity increased with the number of ethoxy units in the polyethoxy head group, leading to a bulky surfactant formation. The next factor affecting the performance of neosome is the hydration temperature. The hydration temperature is the temperature which is required for proper swelling of the dry structure. The hydration temperature affects the assembly of surfactant into vesicle, and therefore shape and size of neosome is changed. Ideally, the hydration temperature should be above the gel to liquid phase transition temperature of the surfactant. As I said, the hydration temperature affects the shape and size of the neosome. Here is the example of neosome formed with C16 chain along with solute C24 in a ratio 91:9. The neosome formed at temperature 25 degrees centigrade had a polyhedral structure. When this neosome was heated at 48 degrees centigrade, that means when the hydration temperature was 48 degrees centigrade, the spherical vesicles were formed. The cooling of the neosomes formed in the hydration medium from 55 degrees centigrade to 49 degrees centigrade resulted in a formation of a small neosomes. At 35 degrees centigrade, a polyhedral structure was observed for the neosomes. Usually, surfactants with long alkyl chain shows high phase transition temperature and encapsulation efficiency because the hydration temperature is near to phase transition temperature. The next factor affecting the neosome is the surfactant and lipid concentration. The concentration of surfactant and lipid used in neosomes generally vary from 1 to 2.5% weight by weight. A change in surfactant to water ratio during hydration affects the lamellar structure, but higher ratio of surfactant to lipid increases the entrapment of drug into vesicles. Further higher ratio results in higher viscosity of the system. The concentration of the lipid improves the mechanical strength of neosome and their permeability also. Fluidity of neosomes is changed considerably and they become rigid by incorporation of cholesterol and thus are known to have greater stability. The amount of cholesterol to be added in any neosome structure depends on the HLB value of surfactant. As the HLB value increases above 10, it is required to add minimum concentration of cholesterol in order to compensate for the larger head groups. Balakrishnan et al. Have reported that incorporation of cholesterol affects the entrapment efficiency for the drug. For example, minoxidil neosomes prepared with bridge 76 and cholesterol had higher encapsulation for the drug. But Abdelberry et al. Have reported that decrease in the concentration of cholesterol results in increase in encapsulation efficiency for the drug. They carried out the work with methotrexate and observed that lower concentration of cholesterol disturbs the linear structure and does not support encapsulation of methotrexate. Thus, it is observed that above a certain level of cholesterol, entrapment efficiency decreases, possibly due to decrease in critical packing parameter, the CPP. The incorporation of lipid, the cholesterol, also influences the physical properties and structure of neosomes, possibly due to interaction with the non-ionic surfactants. It is observed that surfactants such as bridge 30 diglyceryl monolaureate and tetraglyceryl monolaureate are incapable of forming vesicles without incorporation of cholesterol. This is perhaps due to higher HLB of the surfactant and smaller CPP of the surfactant molecule. If the surfactant to lipid level increases, the amount of drug to be encapsulated in the vesicle also increases, and it results in the increase in the viscosity of the system also. The neosomes formed with C16G2 cholesterol and solulon C24 in a ratio 49:49:2 showed formation of vesicles, and there was no transformation in the shape of the formed vesicle when heat or reduction in temperature was applied. The next factor affecting the stability of neosome is the additive agent and the charge stabilizers incorporated in the formulation. The addition of additive agents improve vesicle formation by hydrophobic surfactant. These additive agents reduce the aggregate formation and they improve the entrapment efficiency, storage time, release of the drug, and the stability of the carrier. The shape of polyhedral neosomes formed from C16G2 remains unaffected by adding a low concentration of the additive agent, that is solulon C24, which is also called as cholesterol poly 24-oxyethylene ether. But incorporation of diacetyl phosphate and sterilamine in any of the neosomes impart positive charge or negative charge respectively to the structure. Diacetyl phosphate, additive agent incorporated in neosome, is hydrophilic and interacts with the hydrophilic surfactant electrostatically, and it specifically interacts with positive charge drug and control the entrapment efficiency of the carrier. It increases the size as being hydrophilic in nature, and as a charge-inducing agent leads to efflux of water into bilayers. Therefore, the formed bilayers are separated. Addition of cholesterol as additive agent is known to provide rigidity to neosomes. The rigid now structure is capable of holding the drug for long, therefore inhibits the drug leakage from neosome. The last factor affecting the performance of the neosome is the nature of the drug. In the table below, it is indicated clearly that hydrophobic drugs do not show leakage, are more stable, and that is why are preferred for transdermal drug delivery. The hydrophilic moieties, if encapsulated in neosome vesicles, exhibit leakage and are less stable. But the amphiphilic therapeutic moieties do show decreased leakage and higher drug encapsulation, but their stability is not reported. The macromolecular drugs like proteins show less leakage of the drug. They are more stable in a vesicle carrier form. It is observed that the nature of the drug affects the accumulation site, which means the encapsulation of drug in the aqueous core or in the bilayer is dependent on the nature of the drug. In an example, the neosome with two active molecules, curcumin and doxorubicin hydrochloride, it was seen that curcumin accumulated in the shell, whereas doxorubicin accumulated in the aqueous core of the neosome. Thus, it is observed mostly the hydrophilic drugs occupy the aqueous core, while the hydrophobic drugs are in the bilayer structure. So students, let us now come to a conclusion regarding the subject covered. In this presentation, we have learned about neosomes, that is, they are the small unilamellar or multilamellar vesicles, primarily consisting of non-ionic surfactants with or without the lipid. They are capable of encapsulating hydrophilic, amphiphilic or lipophilic drug. These non-ionic surfactant vesicles are affected by the HLB of the surfactant, orientation of the surfactant molecule, and the concentration of the surfactant used. Incorporation of lipid like cholesterol or charge stabilizer like diacetyl phosphate impart rigidity to the structure and charge. This is required for specific drug targeting to a tissue. It is observed that mostly the shape and size of neosome is affected by the hydration temperature.